Meat's back on the menu, boys, but unfortunately, so is book banning. So let's talk yet again about a story that is frequently targeted and completely harmless. Flamer by Mike Curato is the semi-autobiographical graphic novel story of Aiden, a 14-year-old who has just graduated from his Catholic middle school, is about to start at the public high school in the fall, and is spending his summer away from home at a Boy Scouts camp. Aiden's dealing with all the normal angst that comes with being someone in the midst of puberty's grip, but he's also trying to come to terms with the fact that he's finding himself attracted to men. That might not be an easy journey in the best of experiences, and it's certainly pretty hard coming from a Catholic background at an all-boys camp in the summer of 1995. Now, I was a camp kid, but not a Boy Scouts guy, so there's themes there about how the Boy Scouts historically have treated members of the LGBTQ community that are pronounced but a little bit lost on me. And obviously there's this theme of coming to terms with your sexuality. I actually thought the most prevalent and important theme in the book, though, was just grappling with toxic masculinity as a whole. Because Aiden and his friends are, taking their first steps into adulthood and play acting what it is they think men do. Unfortunately, that involves all sorts of bullying and slurs and mockery and really every bad ism that you can think of out there. Now, this book is set in the year I was born, but I gotta say, 15 years later, when I was the same age, I saw, experienced, and frankly participated in a lot of the same unhealthy dynamics that Aiden and his friends got up to in the summer of '95. I think a lot of us did, and it just goes to show that even as the years go by, some of the underpinnings of toxic masculinity and how men interact with each other aren't really that different. Now, Flamer has been one of the most targeted and banned books in libraries, public and school, across the country over the last couple of years. And we know why, right? It's an LGBTQ story, and those are the most frequently targeted ones these days. But the quote-unquote adult themes used to justify it are really a nothing burger, right? There are references to onanism, there's certainly some adult language as the kids bully each other, there's topics of mental health, there's questions of self-harm, but none of these are things that a 14-year-old then or now wouldn't be aware of or grappling with themselves. The School Library Journal rates it for grades 8 and up, and Common Sense Media says ages 15 and up, so that gives you a sense of sort of who could read this book and relate to it. And again, I think everyone can enjoy and get something from this story, but it's one of those that I think would be particularly helpful to anybody who's undergoing some of the same struggles that Mike is, whether that's your sexuality or grappling with masculinity or just dealing with the vicissitudes of bullying and puberty. Whatever flavor those take, that's kind of a core young adult experience and one that I think we have to be candid about the difficulties of. If you're interested in Flamer, I hope you give it a look. Obviously, I don't think this is any book that should be banned, and if you want to recommend another banned book for us to look at, feel free to shout it in the comments.